Welcome to Talent Freaks with Andy Kuhn. I'm Andy, a filmmaker and photographer based in the Bay Area of California. This podcast dives into the stories of talented individuals who inspire curiosity and creativity through their work and journey. In this episode, we're revisiting a conversation from 2012 with Bechir Sylvain, an actor, filmmaker, and advocate for diverse storytelling. At the time, Bechir was carving his path in the entertainment industry with a focus on breaking barriers and portraying authentic stories from underrepresented voices. His dedication to his craft and commitment to meaningful representation makes his story one that continues to inspire. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and rate Talent Freaks on your favorite podcast platform. It truly helps others discover these amazing conversations, as well as making me very grateful for your support. Now, let's go back in the time machine to 2012 and let my younger self introduce Bechir Sylvain.
Bechir is an actor that I ran across out in LA when both of us attended the LA Web Festival for our web series. I was out there for the 3 full days. The one that stuck out the most was Make It Happen, which was Bechir's. It is absolutely hilarious, and I'm hoping someone gives him the opportunity to actually make it into a TV program, because it is off-the-wall funny. Now, Bechir attended school in Dallas at the Southern Methodist University in 2004. He began his screen career in 2004, the same year he attended SMU. Since then, Bechir has been making visible appearances across film and television. His credits include the series Burn Notice and Love That Girl. Full-length features include Sirens of the Caribbean, then the music drama Know Thy Enemy. Bechir also appeared in the Asylum's creature thriller film Mega Shark vs. Crocosaurus, and I'm kicking myself because I didn't ask about that. His work in acting earned him an award from the American Black Film Festival in 2009 in the Star Project competition for Best Actor. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Bechir Sylvain and enjoy. When I was doing some research, I saw that you're from Haiti.
Yep.
When did you move over to the States?
I was 13.
13 years old. So you obviously came over with, you know French?
Yeah. French is my first language. Creole is my second. And then I had to learn English when I got here because I didn't know a word.
Wow. You don't even have an accent or anything.
I worked hard at it, man.
No kidding.
Where did you picking on me?
No kidding. Where did you move to when you came
I went to
States?
Miami. I went straight to Miami. And we packed our stuff. Like, we just left because it was like out of chaos or whatever. It was out of things going on politically and the country was going to shit. Oh, can I say shit?
You can say anything you want.
Okay. And then we just packed our stuff. We within 2 weeks we sold everything we had and then we just moved.
Wow. I
just remember going I was excited because it was America. And I thought I was going to be like in Saved by the Bell or something. But I was like, oh, shit, I get to meet Zach. I'm so excited. I'm going to, what was the school name? Damn, I forgot the school's name.
Oh, damn it. Now you put me in that. I should know that.
Valley High. No, that was the opposite. Because it was in California. It was
Saved by the Bell. You would think it had something with the bell.
Valley High was the competition. I forgot the other one, the one they were in. Well, I wanted to be in that school. I thought I was going to be, and then I went to the school. And I saw a bunch of Cubans and Haitians. I was like, "This nothing's changing. Like, what's going on? Where are the white people?" What's that?
And that was what year was that when you moved to the States?
94. It was right after Andrew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, December of 94.
So all the whites were gone. They left. They evacuated.
They were gone, man. They were smart. They knew what was coming.
So when did you realize that you wanted to be an actor?
Oh, shoot. That was late. Because from the Caribbeans, it's like, if you tell somebody that you want to be an actor and you're from the Caribbeans, they're like, no. You either want to be a lawyer, a doctor, and I really wanted to be a lawyer because my dad was a lawyer. Mm-hmm. And I fell in love with the law. Don't know why, but man, I was in love with it. In 6th grade, even though I didn't know any English, I took a law class, which I passed, which I don't know how.
You had law class in 6th grade?
Yeah, and in Hammocks Middle School. It was crazy. It was crazy. but I did it. Don't know how. I really honestly don't remember that class at all. But I passed. I guess they just felt bad for me or whatever. But it's at like my senior year in high school. That's when I did a couple plays. I did West Side Story and I did Grease because I took a class for my debate team and my mock trial because they were like, "Oh, it'll be good for you to, get on stage." And I was like, "All right." I didn't know what a theater was. I just remember seeing a bunch of people wearing black and being sad all the time. I couldn't understand that shit. And then yeah, the teacher was like, you should try this." And I was like, "All right, cool." And in college, I was still like, whatever. And then I still did it. And then I saw that, a lot of people, I was doing good. I was doing really good. And I was cast in every show. And when my teachers really believed in me and wanted me to audition for, SMU, which I ended up going. And then I started booking stuff. And when I started making money off of it, then it was like, okay. Maybe I should pursue this.
What was your first paid gig?
My first paid gig I think it was a theater piece, but like the first real big, like, cause theaters, you get, not that much, but my first paid gig was a commercial, which was a lot of Florida lottery commercial, which actually I didn't know at that time. I didn't know anything about SAG and all that stuff. It got me my SAG eligibility, and I was just like, and I was getting paid, like, I was getting those checks, and you're like, oh snap, that regional money. Yeah, imagine like how old was that? 20, I think I was 22, 23.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, 22, 23, and you get those residual checks. You're like, what? Is this real?
Exactly.
I was so scared. I thought they made a mistake. I cashed it real quick. I was like, they already paid me for this. Okay, let me cash it. Oh, too bad. Hey, y'all fucked up.
And that was for what, like Miami or, Florida State Lottery?
Yeah, it was Florida State. Yeah, so it was just a regional for just all Florida. It was cool, man. It was by myself. It was pretty cool. It was the first time working like with that 3D stuff because I had to play with a magic ball or whatever. I don't remember. It was fun though. Good times.
So
and then go ahead.
How did you end up at SMU? That's do they have a good theater program?
Man, these cats, amazing.
Wow.
Amazing program. Like I was just, and that was a very fun story because I did American Idol. The second year when it came out, I was
where you at?
Wasted. Huh?
So where
I'm
you
at my house.
Hear the siren
I'm
coming.
in the ghetto, son. I was in South Beach with my friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, Arturo Fernandez. And we got really wasted at the beach. Woke up, looked outside, and there was a line. And I didn't even know what American Idol was. And he was like, "Yeah, you should go to American Idol. People sing and shit." He's like, "I'll go first, and I'll be horrible, and you could be better, and then you could go in." So we did that, and I went to the first round. They had like 7 rounds within that state because it went in different states and stuff like that. Then I actually made it to California. Met Simon, and Simon really liked me. And I told him, I don't, like, singing is not my passion. I could do it, but it's not my thing. And then he saw that I could act and I could dance and I could do all this stuff. And he was like, "Oh man, you should definitely pursue this acting career." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever." And he said, "No, seriously, you should." Went back to Miami. And at that time, my teacher told me to audition for SMU. And I did. And I wasn't really caring. I was like, it's, I didn't know about the school. I didn't know anything. But once, like, Simon was really, like, adamant about me pursuing this. He's like, "Look, pursue this because you have something." And I was like, "Oh, well, he is on TV. He knows what he's talking about. So, all right, cool." And then when they called me, I think it was after they saw American Idol. I still think that they saw me and they were like, "Hey, we want you to be in." I waited for a while, man. I waited for like 3 months to find out a result because I was chilling and I was getting like all these other offers from Fox because they went crazy with the reality stuff. They were doing like some dance stuff and everything at that time. And they were like calling me to see if I wanted to do it. And I was like, I didn't know. And then some guy wanted me to sing in Spanish, which makes no sense. He was like, "You could be a Spanish star." And I was like, okay, sure. And then SMU called. It was like, "Yo, we really want you to come to the school." And I was like, cool. And they picked 2 people out of, God knows how many, just to transfer. I was a transfer. And I went there and I went full scholarship. That's actually, yeah. I heard the word free, and I was like, what? And room and board too? Okay, I'm there. I am there. And best experience of my life, man. Best experience. Ugh, I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it.
That is fantastic.
Yes, sir.
So so after you graduated there, how did that propel you to the next stage, and where did you go after that?
Well, unfortunately, what happened is that my dad got really sick. He had cancer and stuff. He had bone cancer, and my third year, I had to leave. I didn't finish it. I had to just get up and leave because I had to go home. But before I went home, things were really bad. Money was really tough at home, and I was trying to send as much money as I could. I got lucky. I booked this film with it was Peter Falk, George Siegel, Bill Cobbs, and Rip Torn. My dog. You could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball. Man, that dude, that guy was Anyway, so I did a film. I flew down to Miami, and it was a small, role or whatever. Did that, and then Bill Cobbs, who is like my mentor now, asked me to go on the road with him. He was like, "Yo, why don't you come on the road with me? I need an assistant." I was like, "Well, I kind of, have school and I got stuff going on at home." He was like, "I'll pay you, and it was like $500 a week." I was like, "Oh, what? I will be there, man. I get paid to hang out with you. All right, that's cool." So that was probably the best experience. It was almost like, seeing what's to come in the future, because I was with somebody that was super huge and got to be around all these great people and how they were treated. I saw the good and the bad. And then the last day, because I think we traveled for 2 months, and then the last day of the shoot, I was gonna go back, and I remember my cousin calling me. He's like, "Yo, you need to go home." And then I left, and then when I went home, my pops was gone, and that really. I was so motivated from the experience of seeing, being around all these people and being in the movie with these guys and legends. You're talking about legends. Cats have been doing it for George Siegel. I mean, half of the people don't even know who that is. But, Rip Torn, all these cats have been doing it since God knows how long. So I got this knowledge, and I was just coming out of college too. So it was just like I had all this energy and all this knowledge that I wanted to bring out. So when that happened, and then my dad passed, so I used all the energy from the excitement from the morning to start my own theater company. And I started a theater company in Miami, which still is running, with my best friends. We did a show called Jesus Hopped the A Train. And then I did that for 2 years, just went at it, and also started auditioning for a lot of stuff. I was booking a lot of commercials and blah, blah, blah. And then once I reached my peak at Miami, because when you're in a smaller market, you don't get that many opportunities. Opportunities are there, and it's a great place to grow. But you weren't even when your agent tells you, "I ain't got nothing else for you," you need to leave.
Time to move on.
When your agent's telling you, "Bechir, I would love for you to stay here, but we have nothing else for you," it's time to go. So I just packed my bags and just left out of the blue. Just didn't tell anybody. I told very few people, and I just packed up and just left.
And you went to L.A.
Yep, went to L.A. $200 in my pocket.
Wow.
Yeah, that was nice.
Did you go with a friend? Did you go with Sean?
No, I went. Sheon came later.
Sheon, okay.
Sheon came later. That was always the plan. It was like me and him. Let's do it. And he's like, "Yeah, cool." And but when I decided to do it, I just felt like I needed to go on my own first, because I was at a place where like just everything just. It was like I was home, I was working, but I wasn't happy, and
right.
My dad and all that stuff. And I was like, I just need to figure things out on my own and see my strength as a human being, just to see how I could handle myself on my own. And that was probably the best experience. I mean, God, I got stories forever, but it was great for me to come here first. And then he came out, and then, this girl came out, and a couple other friends came out after me. And it's been great, man. It's definitely a journey. It's not easy. I'm not living large yet, but the progress has been it's evident, and it just feels good to see progress, because I think a lot of times, especially in this career, we could see us get stuck in one place and don't see any growth. And I could say every year, even though if it's little and sometimes it's huge, I could see that there is progress, especially from not doing anything to writing, make it happen. And for make it happen to get to where it was, it's like, wow, okay, things could happen if you just, work hard.
And that's the thing. That's where you and I crossed paths, was out the LA Web Fest.
Yes,
And
sir.
it was a unique experience because I was not expecting to see so many top quality productions out there. And I happened to be in the screening when Make It Happen played. And that by far was the highlight of like my time there. It was so good and funny. And I was like,
thanks, man.
this needs to be seen by a lot of people. And so could you talk about just, how you came up with that and why you decided to make it a web series?
Well, I was at Cheon's house, at his couch, just chilling. And we were just like, doing the actor thing and talking about how, man, no many opportunities, and man, we need to do something, and nobody's calling us, and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, well, we should just write our own stuff. And it's always been my mentality, especially, with us doing the theater company and doing a lot of stuff. I was like, well, why don't we just try to shoot something? I mean, we had the connections with a couple people that we shot some stuff with. And then I was working at Johnny Rockets, and I was just like, you know what, let's just try something. Because it was at that point where it was just like everything was the same and nothing was moving. And I was like, how do we push ourselves forward? So we thought about us and our relationship and how we really are. I'm always the guy coming up with the most ridiculous idea. And some of them, you'd be surprised how close it is to the truth. I'm always the guy that's like, hey, you know what? What's his name's in the restaurant? We just go in there and do a scene. And I'm serious, man. And I've literally done that in Miami, where we had a casting director that was like the mean guy. His name was Ed something. I'm not even gonna say his own name because then he might hate me. But but I remember he was sitting with a director, and I literally heard him. And I was me and my other friend Arturo, and we were sitting there, and he's like, yeah, the problem with Miami is that there's not really talented actors. And I got up and I went in front of him. I was like, I think you're wrong. I'm sorry. I was eavesdropping, and I think you're wrong. And I'm ready to prove it to you right now by doing a monologue right here in front of you. And he just looked at me.
Nice.
And the director looked at me like, and then me and my buddy were like, yo, let me know. And he was like, you know what? I like that. Why don't you come to the office and come audition? We went and everything, and we casted a couple stuff. And it was just like, it's just stuff like that. I've always been like, why not? I have nothing to lose. So we thought about that. And then Cheon was like, what about if we do like an audition or something, like, but at a funeral? And I just thought it was hilarious. And the reason why we came up with the funeral thing is because that is not funny, but I went to a memorial, and it was like a lot of artists there, and everybody was up there, but it didn't feel like they were there for that person. It felt like it was an audition. They were trying so hard to, like, one of them was like promoting his concert after. And
Are you serious?
I was like, I thought this was a memorial. Like, it was so weird. I was losing it. Like, this cat did not use this as a, like, by the way, I'll be performing next week on Tuesday. Right down there, we got a happy hour from 12 o'clock.
Oh, my God.
You guys could come mourn over here. What? Like, who does that? So, I thought about that, and then, I remember I sat down, I wrote the first episode, and then I showed it to Cheon, and Cheon was like, yo, this is hilarious. And I've never written anything in my life, I kid you not. And I was just like, and I literally, he was like, all right, I need to write this right. So I pulled up a script that I've done, and then I was like, okay, INT, what is that? Okay, INT. double space. Okay, interior. Oh shit, okay. And then I just copied somewhat of the format of what I'd known, and then did my story, and then I showed it to him. He was like, yo, this is good. And then I showed it to a couple people that I thought, knew what the hell they were doing. One of the writers of Love That Girl, which I was in the show with, I showed it to her. And she's actually really the person that really, like, made me go, okay, I guess I have something. She's done so many work. Her name is Stacey Evan Morgans. She's done so much. from Parker's, and and then her brother did so much, and then I showed her the script, and she was like, "Wow, this is actually funny, man." And I was like, "Really?" And she's like, "What other scripts have you done?" I'm like, "This is my first one." And she's like, "Nah, you're lying." I'm like, "No, this is my first one." And then I was like, "All right, cool." I called my buddy that we shot a film with. We did Know Thy Enemy with. Called him up, showed him the script. He fell in love with it, and then I was like, "Look, I ain't got no money. I got about $1,000 maybe." And then we got up and we talked about it. The location, I used Johnny Rockets because I was working there. A friend apartment. We just used every resources that we could, and then we just did it. And then next thing you know, everything was cool. And then the residual checks started coming in for an Allstate commercial that I did. And I was like, "What? Residual money? Let's shoot another one, fellas." Instead of 1,000, let's make it 3. Yeah. and so we did that, and then and we're dying to do some more because people love it, and the ideas are so real and so innocent, and we're influenced. I'm very influenced by Flight of the Concord.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when that show came out, and I was like, "Oh, this is genius! This is so awesome!" And also the dynamic, the chemistry between me and Shion has been like that since the day we met. So it was just like, I knew it would work because I've worked with him so many times professionally. Even when we're together, like by ourselves, people would just sit and watch us because they're gonna do something. Because we'll just either have an argument, a dumb argument, but it'll be entertaining as hell. It'll be like, "Why didn't you, close the door?" "What the fuck you talking to me? We're gonna close the door. I told you to close." And then everybody's like, "What the hell are they talking about?" It's just our dynamic is just like, you just know each other so well. It's like, whatever, man, whatever. All right, cool. And then the love is there too, and all that stuff. So it's cool. It's really cool. So that's how it came up. And then now we're just so excited, and we went to the NBC Shortcuts. That went well. We got the audience award for that, and I was just beyond great. And talk about progress. What I was saying, when you see that kind of stuff happen, from when I was literally sitting down, just like, why not?
Yeah.
And then you see that people are paying attention to it. That's what it gives you that motivation of going, okay, cool, there is something here. And yeah, I'm not gonna say like everything was all peachy. There were times where I was like, man, F this show. I'm not doing anything. This is bullshit. And then, once you really, calm yourself down and you talk to your ego and you calm him down, you realize, hey man, why not? There's so many positive things out of it. Why not? You have nothing to lose. And now I could actually, it feels good to be able to say I've accomplished something. So literally, if my career were to end today, I could at least say, you know what? I had that one thing that's there forever, or however long the internet lasts. But at least it's there.
Exactly. And it's funny you mentioned that because I felt the same way. It's weird because I didn't have a similar background as you, but I went into the production side and behind the camera, and worked on films, independent projects, and I moved to New York City and did that for about 8 months, and all I did was work with all these production companies, and I was kind of being used for free work, but on horrible productions that were never going to be seen. And I have no problem helping out people for free, especially if it's a good project. And people that I know I can collaborate with later, and get a good rapport. But these were just terrible, and they were not going to be seen at all. So I realized, I was like, bump this. I got to move back to North Carolina and finish my documentary. And I did that. I moved, and it was award winning, but it was solely funded by me, which meant I delivered pizzas and tried, and made and shot it in between that. And that was before Final Cut Pro came out. Any of that stuff.
Oh man!
So it was really tough. But the thing was, that kind of prepared me for when Final Cut Pro did come out. We did Often Awesome, and after we finished that, I felt this sense of I feel really accomplished about this project. That if I don't do another, I know at least I did something, great.
Yeah, and especially when it's your first time, because I'm a very realist person. I'm like, look, if it sucks, it sucks. I'm okay. I'm not gonna be about this is the best thing ever. I came at it out of love, and it was just like, this is something I've tried. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, it's cool. And you just give it a try, and it's just once the learning process also was such an exciting thing because I had to wear the producer hat, I
Hmm.
had to write the writer hat, I had to write, the actor's hat, and all the stagecraft, everything. It was just like, wow, I'm wearing so many hats, and it gives you a sense of pride because you've been in the game for God knows how long, and you've noticed all the little things that you never paid attention to, but somehow
Yeah.
it just stuck in your back of your brain. I was like, I remember how they did this thing. Yeah, we could do that. We could do that. Just you want snow? Just get some foam and just put it on there. You know what I'm saying? It's like I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And you're just so excited of how much it's survival in a sense, and it's such a great feeling when you come out alive, when you're thrown into something that deep and you're like, man, you got people listening to you and you're like, wait a minute, oh shoot, I've never been in this position, go over there, and they actually do it and you're like, oh shit, okay, okay, and then put that over there too. And then, because especially when you're so used to doing everything your own and you see how many people have your back, and the support really what really helps, man. It's when you have people, and if that's one advice I could tell anybody, it's like the support system, finding the people that was in the same page, that was like in love with the project, and somebody was like, this is just another gig for me, because it's such a big difference. Because I've worked with both, where there are some people that are just like, man, I'm just here to make a paycheck, man, what's up?
Right.
Where you have somebody that's actually excited, like our DP was so excited, he's still excited for the next one, where he was just doing extra stuff, and I was like, we don't have the money for. He's like, don't worry. I was like, oh, you go ahead. Another take, man. Another take.
Exactly.
Let's do it. Like it.
And that's what's so good about when you're working on something you believe in, because everything else just kind of floats away, and you want to make it the best you possibly can, especially if you don't have that budget.
And for some strange reason, your performance is better because you're so, like, especially if it's your own, you're so out of your head. Whereas you're like, I don't want to fuck up their script. I don't fuck up. When you're doing somebody else's project, you're like, oh shit, I got a lot of pressure. They got their way. They want to see it. Okay, is that funny? And with yours, there is that freedom of like, oh, I don't have that pressure of trying to make it what they want. And I think you should try to do that with every project that you do, and that's why the greats are the greats. Because at the end of the day, they end up doing. Damn, they're like, I don't care what the script says. I'm saying this. Shoot, like Charlie Sheen, fuck it. He's like, yeah. But it's just such a great avenue for now, especially now. And it's funny when I talk to Bill and when I talk to other actors that's been in the game for a while, they're like, man, I wish I had the chance to do what you're doing, which is create your own stuff. Because back in the day, not that many people, not as many as there is now, was like, I'm going to do my own film and try to make it.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, they got all these shows. I wish I was in one of those shows, and that's it. But now there is this beautiful platform that allows a lot of people to do some stuff. There's a lot of crappy stuff out there, I ain't going to lie. But at the same time, it's such a great thing to be able to do that, and people, and it's funny, not that many people are taking advantage of it. And I'm like, what? Y'all don't understand. They're about to lock this down, and once they do, you won't be able to put that cat video up. You won't be
exactly.
able to, man.
One of the things, what is like the most difficult thing about being a web series? Because for us, being a web series, a lot of people hear web series and they really don't take it seriously. They don't know what it is.
Exactly. I try not to call it that. I just try to. I mean, either I put like we get to the shortcut film festival. And I was like, yeah, it's a short. Like, yeah, I try not to call it because the what I want to focus on is really on the material. I don't care if it's 10 minutes. I don't care if it's 5 minutes. I don't care if it's 25 minutes. Because number one, I don't have the background to know that structure yet.
Right.
Which is great, but at the same time, which is awesome. I've took a couple workshops which taught me about it, but I still try to stir away from it. Because I go, if it's funny, if it's great, it doesn't matter. So I try not to focus on, this is a web series and this is what I'm trying to do. I go, whatever you think it is, that's what it is.
That's it. Yeah.
You think it's a TV show? Oh, yeah, of course it's a TV show. What you talking about? Yeah,
exactly.
30 minutes, you got the extra footage. It's a movie. Oh, yeah, I was working on the script yesterday. You put all these two together, that's 90 minutes right there. So I try to keep it as chameleon as possible. So it could just change. So I try to stir away from saying, oh yeah, it's a certain thing. Because I remember when I submitted to one festival, they were like, well, web series got to be 5 minutes, man. And I was like, okay. And I just cut it in half. I was like, there you go.
Yeah.
I got 2 episodes instead of 1 now. Look at that.
And actually, your first episode was like that. It was kind of like 2 episodes in 1.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's funny how and when you're able to, do that. And I'm glad that I didn't follow a structure, because that wouldn't allow me to be like, oh, I could cut it right here, and that's 5 minutes right there. I could cut it right here. Oh, there it is, done. And I try to go off my gut and go off what's funny, and that's it. If it's 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes. If it's 10, it's 10. I'll figure out something. But as long as people like it, that's really what matters to me, to be honest with you. And the next one, I'm like, can't wait. I can't wait. You understand? It's just stupid.
I can't wait either, man. That's why
I
really hope that your Indiegogo goes well. Or how about, so could you talk about your Indiegogo, what you're trying to do?
Well, basically, we're trying to do 3 episodes. We got a company that came up to us and was like, we really like your stuff. And I mean, you probably got a lot of companies that came up to you and was like, we really like your stuff. We're going to show it to our website and then see what happens. And I was like, yeah, I've heard that before. And these cats was a little bit more serious. They're like, look, we'll even pay you to do another. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And what they offered was like very, very lower than what I've spent, which was cool. But hey, money is money,
right?
And there was a lot of contract stuff that they were talking about. Nothing has happened yet. You know the deal. You know how Hollywood is. You can't get excited until the paycheck clears. Doesn't matter how if it's shot, it's in the can. Until it clears, you can't get excited. So I still haven't heard back from them, but they've sent me this beautiful email saying, they're excited and they want us to be there and this is how much they're offering, blah, 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 which is cool. So we decided, I was like, let me start an Indiegogo just in case, because we've written, 3 more episodes, which are hilarious, and I've been dying to trying to shoot it. So I was like, well, might as well, instead of waiting for them to get back at me, might as well start a Kickstarter. And so we could shoot 3 episodes, and each episode will be like $5,000, which is absolutely nothing, especially when it comes down to we're doing it the right way now with the SAG and the permits and all that stuff. So that's gonna kill us, but it's all good. And
but you're getting paid though, because you're an actor.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, you're SAG. You're acting in it.
Oh yeah, but that money's going to the DP and all
right.
these other stuff, man. I mean, in time, if the whole point of the Indiegogo is to have a nice package to send it to the networks and to send it to some channel that's gonna really bring the audience to it, a bigger audience to it.
Right.
And and until then, I really getting paid now. What, $100? Are you serious? Like for real? I can't. It's not gonna do anything for me right now. So I'll take a pay cut anytime like that. But the goal is to really take that platform, and because I see that a lot of people are loving it, and I still haven't heard anybody yet till this day. And and I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's the shit. And I still think there's a lot of with anything, there's always a lot of work that could be done. But everybody that's seen it so far have liked it or loved it. I've never heard anybody was like, that shit sucked. I've never heard one of those words.
No.
Either they say, man, you know what, it was good, or man, that wasn't fantastic, but nothing negative about it. And that tells me something, because usually you always get that one negative, like, man, that shit was wet, man. It was like, then you did that fake ass accent and shit. Man, come on, dog. There's always that one, but I haven't got that one yet. So I was like, yo, this is something good, and it's fun. It's so much fun to do on set. It's just so much fun, and I'm like, I want to continue to have that much fun, and I want to bring that kind of fun out there. And it's also a different demographic, like like a different way of doing comedy, especially African American. There's a lot of shows out there, and I'm still to this day I haven't seen anything quite like ours, where and it was funny because I had all types of race seeing it. It's until I mention it, I'm like, this is a black show, right? And they're like, oh shit, it is. I didn't think it was, because it was hilarious, and I love that comment. I literally remember doing a screening and somebody said that to me, and it was like, not because I brought it up. I was like, you guys think it's an urban show, or because I just wanted to know as much information to see how to market this, and they were like, urban show. And I was like, yeah, y'all think it's like, a Martin or whatever. And they're like, nah, it's it's funny. And I was like, wow, that's cool. And I want to bring more to that, you know, and I want to, you know, branch out like that because there's not that many shows so far. And if there is, I apologize to all the shows, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
But you know, until you know, I want to be at least if there is, I want to be one of those guys that are bringing that kind of comedy out. That's bringing another new way of doing things instead of, you know, the old fashioned way.
Your celebrity costume party, this episode 2, is absolutely hilarious. Especially your Denzel impersonation is so spot on. It's so ridiculous.
My goal is for him to see it. If he can see it. I want Spike Lee to see the first one, and I want him to see that because I you understand. And it's funny. It's the experience between me and Shion. I always make fun of him and call him Wesley. And when I get mad, they always call me, you know, want to be Denzel. Because when I get mad, I do sound like him. And they're like, why? Every time they get an argument, they're like, stop doing Denzel, nigga. You're not Denzel. I'm like, shut up, man. What the fuck? And again, it's just like, you know, it was one of those things where I was like, man, we got to use that. We got to use these things that are so true to us. And it's so, you know, when you see it, you don't think that would be a possibility. You're like, oh, what are they gonna do? And then you're like, what? Denzel. And then when you see it and you see it on his costume, you're like, these cats are ridiculous, but at the same time, ridiculously close to them. Like when Shion had the hat, that
the Brooklyn hat.
Oh my God! I was like, I told you, you look just like him. He was like, man, whatever.
Oh, that was too funny, man. He's like, you know how long it took me to find this hat? Oh.
And it's true. That was a true ass story because we looked everywhere for a bicycle hat and then the right one. And then they said Brooklyn. We're like, oh, this is perfect. It was literally the day going on set. Like I'm driving down and then I see it. I see a star. I was like, man, I'm not going to, let me just at least pull in. And right before we got on set and I saw it and then boom, we bought it. And then that was it. It was like, man, we finally found a hat.
So how would you say all the stuff that you've done? Because I went through your IMDb and saw a lot of work. You had TV shows, commercials, writing, acting, obviously with, you know, what you're doing here. How did that prepare you to do web series?
You know, yeah, it just I've always been, even when I was in school, I was always the guy that liked to learn every aspect of it. You know, it really prepared me to be able to do the things that I didn't think I could do because of just things that I saw. You know, like I did a play. I love the fact that I learned about lights. I love the fact that I learned about costume. I love the fact that I learned about makeup. You know, because there was always that. You know, there was always those dudes. Man, I just want to act, man. I just want to act. What the hell we doing this for? Me, I was like, oh, this is interesting. That makes me look really good. How do you do that? How does this like work? And that really prepared me. Being on set all the time and seeing how they work, I'm always like asking questions or wondering, all right, how they do that, or I'm taking mental note. That really prepared me to go, okay, cool, I could do this. And also the industry stuff. It also helped me with the writing because there's a lot of stuff that happens that I'm like, man, people are losing a lot of gems, a lot of really cool things that are happening right now because. You know, there's so many shows about the industry, but there's not that many shows that really talks about the small little things that I've noticed. And I'm like, oh, okay, that should definitely, like our next episode, we talk about the agents and we talk about, you know, the different types of actors, like the method actor and all that stuff. And we talk about all these other sides of it that a lot of people don't really get to know about or educate about. And I wanted to, at the same time, educate people and make them laugh. Somebody's damn at my door right now.
Dude, could you keep it down?
It's probably the most ghetto interview in the world. This nigga got police, and it's probably the cops that y'all heard earlier. Oh my God, did somebody go at that door? Okay, I think somebody did. If they're not,
that's funny.
But yeah, that really prepared me to go. To use everything that I've learned and put it into the experience. Because it's really about my experience and also Shion's experience of the industry. And as much as they have all these shows like Entourage and all these shows, Extra, and the other show that the guy from Joey from Friends have, they really go into the other extreme of it, but they never really focus on the grind, you know. And the only movie I remember doing that was Hollywood Shuffle with Robert Townsend. And he talked about certain, especially our experience. And I didn't want it to be about our experience, meaning like the Black experience. But I just wanted it to be like just the cats that are just really trying hard, and it's not about their struggle of being African Americans. It's just two really close friends that I have a blast with each other, and how they go at it in a very real way. And taking the bus. Most people are like, "There's bus in LA." I'm like, "Yeah, there is a bus system, and there's crazy people in there, and you can have a lot of material." And that Angel guy. That's the truth. That's a true dude.
That was great that you guys put that in there. This actually happened.
Yeah, this stuff, and that's what we want to do more and more and more, and just like really educating at the same time, have people go, wow, this is really cool. Like the slate in the funeral, there's a reason for that. I know a lot of actors are gonna crack up because like, oh my God, I can't believe he's slain. And then at the same time, the people that don't know what that is, they're gonna go, what is he doing? And later on they'll understand when we do that episode when we talk about audition. They're gonna go, oh, that's what he was doing at the man. Let me go watch the first episode again.
And I like it too because in that first one you had that homeless guy who was had all the dance moves and stole your job, and it's like, but that's like LA. Everyone's talented and out of work.
Exactly. And there's so many small messages within the whole show. Every single time it's funny. Like a lot of people love Costume Party, and a lot of people love the other one too. But every time they talk about it, they always like say something. I'm like, yeah, that was in there for a reason. There's a reason why I had that dude. Like, because there's so many talented people going after this, and it's like, in any given chance they get, why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not? And that was one thing that really hit me too. And it was also Flight of the Conchord, because I remember they did an episode about that. But I remember seeing those guys all the time, and I was like, they're doing some incredible stuff.
Yeah.
They were just doing all this stuff, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. They should have their own show. And so I was like, yeah, why not? Why not give it a try and see how would that be if I were to lose my job to one of those guys?
And I recall on Facebook, so there was some time people were mentioning something about your health. Did you go through something pretty scary recently?
Yeah, in December 5th, 2011. It was a dog day. Anyway.
That's my mom's birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday, Mama. I got in a very bad car accident, fell asleep in the wheel, ran into a tree, broke my arm, the radius of my arm, snapped it in two, and my entire leg broke off my hip. My right leg broke off my hip. And it was pretty bad. Jaws of life kind of thing. It was crazy. It was a hell of an experience. And it was like, at the top of my game.
Yeah. 4
nationals running. I'm gonna be on TV at this show with Tatiana Lee, making out with Tatiana and stuff. I was like, what? This is this. And then this accident happened, and it really slowed me down. And it was, it's funny because I was talking to some kids about that on Saturday. It was literally like almost like as if it needed to happen, because it was a good chance of me for really to slow down, to really go, wait a minute, I gotta calm down, because I was going, and you know how it is, man.
Yeah.
You get in this place and you work so hard. You understand? I remember one of the scariest lines when one of my friends came to see me in the hospital and was like, this is the first time I haven't seen you do anything. And I was like, wow. He's like, yeah, you always, it's like, this is somewhat good for you, man, because I'm always like either thinking about something or like, okay, we're going to shoot. Yeah. And then next day, we're going to, yeah, and then we could shoot that too. And then, yeah, I'll be there too. And like, I literally stress myself out, but in a good way, because I feed from it.
Yeah.
But I never allow myself to go, you know what, enjoy the moments. Like, it took me a while to really enjoy the perks of like, oh shoot, I won an award. Remember that, you won this, you done that. because it was never enough. It was like, yeah, I won the award, but I didn't get the deal, so I need to get the deal. All right.
I know exactly.
And people like, you just won the award. You were in NBC. Thousands of people saw your show. They loved it. I know, but I need the deal today. I got bills. They're knocking on my door. And that's the other part too. It's just being an artist and trying to survive at the same time.
Yes.
And having a social life. It's so hard. It's so hard. And some people get it, some people don't. And the accident made me realize how much of it is my fault. And I shouldn't have to. Well, it's not I shouldn't have to work that hard. Working hard is really great. But I should acknowledge that it's, the reason why we put ourselves in a certain situation and we get all stressed out is most of it's because we're causing it. We're putting ourselves in these positions. At any time we could just say no, or let me calm down, or you know what, it's going to happen, let me just chill. Because we always want to go further than what we're supposed to, and that's especially, that's our instincts as men. It's like we want to reach the top, and it's like, yo, it's a mountain. It takes 30 days. I want to do it in 10. It's like, no, you can't do that physically. Then I'm going to build a machine that, you know what I'm saying? And we go in. We always want to reach that top, which is great. It's a great thing to do, but within that, the sacrifices that's in between, we somehow pretend like as if it's unfair. And it's like, those sacrifices causes stuff. Causes your friendship, causes family, causes, all these things have an effect to your life. And you can't get upset when you don't get certain perks in your social life where you're like, oh, well, I don't have a girlfriend right now. This is bullshit. And it's like, yeah, because you're working every day, though.
Yeah, you can't meet anybody.
You know what I'm saying? You spend all your money on the damn show. You can't even take her on a date. Of course you don't got a girl. So it's those things that were really cool to experience.
It really hit me because it's weird though. When I moved down to North Carolina, everything kind of slowed down because we just don't have the industry in North Carolina. Films come in, but as far as creating stuff, we do that ourselves. And for a time, I was just nonstop. Like I did a blog where I would review like software. And it started getting really popular. And then, some more software would come, and I'd keep doing it. I'd blog. And I started another web series that just failed miserably because I wasn't prepared for it. But then, we just kept throwing shit at it and just kept trying. And then, that like 2 years ago, just everything came to a crashing halt. Actually, when I went out to LA Web Fest, I just got divorced right when I went out there. And it was just like everything kind of hit me. And then I also got word that I was going to lose my job 4 months later.
Wow. It was just like that domino effect.
Oh, geez. I mean, you name it. It was just like, holy shit. And that really put a perspective to me about like, it's time to slow down, enjoy the rewards and the stuff that we've achieved through our hard work. But at the same time, start living life a little bit and come up with ideas, write them down, put them away. And then if it's something that really hits, and only if I find other people who want to collaborate on it, then I'll move forward with it. But I can't do it by myself anymore. It's just
yeah, best lesson in the world, man. And that was also the thing too. It's like the amount of help that I got at the hospital, because I'm always that dude that's like, I'll do it, don't worry about it, I'll do it. And it was just like, yo, and that was one of the biggest lessons. Like, there are people that are here, I want to help you, and you just go, nah, I got this.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's part of our ego that it's our ego kicking. Well, it's my ego kicking my ass, saying, I just want to be able to say I did it. You know what I'm saying? We always want that. Yeah, and I did this, and I did that, and it's like, no, it's so much better when you say we, man.
Oh, yeah.
As much as especially the fact that I love basketball so much, I'm like, man, I should know better to know that it's a we thing, because you can't do Jordan. Yeah, Jordan couldn't do it by himself. 69 points with Boston, still lost the game. I'm still mad about him about that. Still, I don't get it. How you gonna score 69 points and lose a game? I don't. Anyway, but it's like, yeah, You know, it's like you got to learn to relax. Got to learn when to lean, when not to lean, when to do things on your own, and when not to. Because it's a balance. It's a balancing game. It's a juggling game.
Well, I'll tell you right now, you got your Pippin in your show right now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, you guys are dynamite, and even that I'm sorry, I don't know your other friend's name who's in the show, Jason, who always pops up and
God.
those little.
It's the Bulls '90s, man. It's Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman, man. You don't understand. It's like you can't. I couldn't find a better team. And we have a new member now, Justin Chucari, who's helping us with the writing. I couldn't find a better team. I couldn't find a better team, man. And then now we have like other people that I really want to be in it. Christopher B. Duncan, who was in the Jamie Foxx show. He's dying to work with us, and that's why I need to raise that money because I want to put him in there too. And it's like we're having people that want to work with us and that are in that same mind frame of like we love this and we want to collaborate out of love, not just out of like, yeah, put money in my pocket. They're like, no, you understand, this needs to be done. When I hear those words, I'm like, oh, it needs to be. Let's do it.
I mean, I watch a show and it reminds me of my friends where I grew up. Like that, the kind of bond that you guys have and the relationship and the humor that you guys share. It's so real. Like, and it feels great watching it and laughing. That's why I connected with it right away when I watched it. I was like,
good, man. Oh, good. Oh, like and it's exactly, I want people to leave with. It's not, and that's why I remember going to a network to talk to them, and they were like, we really don't want to deal with the industry. I'm like, it has nothing to do with the industry. It's about the friendship.
Yeah.
It's about the chemistry between those guys. They happen to be actors, but you could put the same guys and put them in an office, setting, and it'll still be hilarious because we would still do the dumbest thing. I mean, me and Shion, we've experienced so much. Like, we worked at Victoria's Secret together. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, boy.
And that story alone, it's like, I'm going to put that in there in one of our episodes.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't write these things, and you can't have a better way to express, show friendship and that bond and what we're willing to do for one another and see, even the fights and everything. It's just, and that's what it's really about, man. And I'm glad that it's coming off that way. And the people that we've met, like Jason, oh my God, Jason Kelly. Oh, he's so funny. He's so subtle, but so funny, man. He started off just with that, that one thing where he just pops up out of nowhere and just starts saying stuff. And we're like, we got to make him a trio, man. And the next episode, oh my God. This cat is just, you see the growth of his character and you just go, wow, that makes sense. That makes so much sense why these guys work together because it's so much fun. It's so evident how much fun we're having, and it's real. It really is real,
I also want to throw out there, like, if you guys ever need a place and it looks a little bit rural, I know you have your spots in Miami, Florida, but I'm now living in Charleston, South Carolina, and Blake, my production partner, he's up in Greensboro. We get places cheap. We don't have to pay for them or anything.
Oh,
so
nice.
And we shoot, we light, we do all that fun stuff. I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but I would definitely love to do that. I know I could get people to jump on board, but you have your own thing. It's just
no, by all means, we're always willing to collaborate with anybody, man. Seriously, that's not even a There's no thinking about it. It's like when.
I'm just throwing it out there to the universe. You guys are like people I would love to work with.
Oh, please. By all means, we'll figure it out on how to do it and when to do it. Because this is how it works. It's when you have people that are willing to do. Okay, let's come together and do something good. And even if it has to be a brand new project, whatever it is, I'm always down. I'm always down.
Nice.
And especially if it comes in a loving place, in a positive place, and we all have the same view for it, I'm in.
Nice. Your acting, as far as your acting is concerned, you're obviously a comedy-based actor, or did you start drama, or how did that?
And I started off as probably I was dramatic as hell. Like I did Jesus Hop, the A Train, and all these dark, like, wow, this cat got issues. And then, the comedy thing, it's because of my friends, man. We always joke around. So the comedy was always there, but, I was really drama-based. And then I started getting cast a lot of comedy stuff. And it's funny because certain casting agency only see me as a comedic actor, and some of them see me only as a dramatic actor. And they're like, nah, Bechir's not funny. And I'm like, I just did this thing. And then they're like, nah, Bechir can't be funny, or Bechir can't do drama. I'm like, well, I just did 6 Degrees, and I was pretty sad too, but so I'm glad and blessed that I've been able to do both.
Right.
The goal is to try to do both. I prefer, well, it's not prefer. I don't know what I prefer really, because I really like drama also. If I'm in my funk, ooh, I love it. Because it's such a great place to be, because now when I'm in a funk, I'm like, all right, we need to do some dramatic shit right now. You understand? I'm in the mode. I've grew my beard. My hair's all messed up. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be playing homeless. Let's do this. And then when I'm up in my high, I'm like, all right, cool. Comedy all the way. So far, I've been a really good high. So comedy's been the base of everything so far. And usually it happens. I think it's a great way to go at it. Do comedy first, and then whatever comes along, be the funny Denzel finally. This cat cannot tell a joke, boy. He can, but it's like, damn, you are a serious dude.
Go ahead, if you can. I hate asking for, but could you do like a Denzel, like something like you just said, like doing a drama, trying to be funny?
All right. Damn, I gotta get back to his voice. Let me see how to do. All right. This is Denzel Washington doing a knock-knock joke. Okay. All right. So you want me to do a knock-knock joke, right? All right, good. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
That's right. Who's there? That's right. Who's there? The interrupting cow.
The interrupting cow who?
Thank you very much.
That's awesome, man. I was like sitting back, not even being a participant. I was just like, oh yeah, that's right. I actually have to interact with you for a knock-knock joke.
That's my version of him doing a knock-knock joke.
The only thing I can say about this is, whatever you do, please don't get ripped, because every ripped comedian always turns into someone pathetic. Like their careers just die.
Get ripped? Like get swole?
Yeah, swollen. Like, Joe Piscopo and Carrot Top. And
oh my God, that cat's on steroids. It's so weird.
It is weird.
Weird, man. No, definitely. I mean, I'm gonna start doing stand-up, which is cool.
Oh, nice.
Which is really cool. Actually, Saturday was like the key thing that made me go, okay, I gotta get, because I did it for a minute and then I stopped because I was too afraid to hear a boo. Because I got a couple laughs. And I was like, this feels great. This is cool. You know what? I'm gonna stop right now before somebody find out that I'm not that great. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna jump back at it and just go full hard, because it's another. I mean, it's also my dumb ass always wanted to grow and wanted to do something else. I always do that. Like, I always want to challenge myself. So I'm like, what I haven't had done yet? Okay, comedy. Yeah, stand up. Let me just do it. Fuck it. And then just see what happens. And if it, just like doing the web series, if it happens, if it goes great. If it doesn't, at least I can say I tried it,
Damn right. Awesome, Bechir. Thank you so much again. And
oh, no problem.
And best of luck with your Indiegogo. I know it'll be fantastic. And can't wait to see the next episode.
Either way, it's gonna get done. No matter what. Either way, I'm gonna at least do one episode if I have to do it myself. Either way, that next episode, you understand? It's a must. It embarrasses the 2 other episodes. Like, literally, like, people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, I thought the other 2 were great, but wow."
Oh man.
Yeah, it's not even right what we write in there. It's not even
better.
Wait.
And that's something I loved about web series, like going to that festival. It was like there weren't any, research. There wasn't any research done. There wasn't any study groups. It was all raw from like the writers and the actors, how they performed it. And it just felt nice and natural. It just was so much fun watching it, rather than going like, you hear those laugh tracks, you hear that live studio audience.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
But Bechir, man, best of luck with everything, and we'll be in touch. And
no, for real, and I'm dead serious about working together, man.
Awesome.
I'm always down.
That was awesome. Thanks, Bechir, for another great conversation. You're off the hook funny, classy guy, and I'm looking forward to hanging out and hopefully working with you in the future.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Talent Freaks. Bechir's journey reminds us of the importance of perseverance and authenticity in storytelling. Whether he's acting, directing, or advocating for representation, his work speaks to the power of creative voices in shaping culture and perspectives. To learn more about Bechir's work, be sure to follow him on his social media platforms. Instagram @Bechir Sylvain, Facebook Bechir Sylvain Actor, TikTok @Bechir Sylvain, YouTube Bechir Sylvain. Now, Bechir has joined the cast of the upcoming Jurassic World Rebirth, the latest installment in the Jurassic Park series. I'm so excited for him. If you'd like to get to know my work, visit talentfreaks.com to see some of the videos that I've worked on, as well as the photography that I'm currently doing and so much in love with. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and rate the podcast. It truly helps others discover these incredible stories. And if you have suggestions for future guests or topics, feel free to reach out. I'm always eager to bring new and exciting conversations to the podcast. Until next time, keep exploring, keep creating, and stay curious.